Hello and welcome to the stream. This is part 23 of our ongoing journey to finish up Might and Magic 2 on the Mac. Now, on last night's stream, we finished up Dawn's Mist Cavern and the rest of Murray's Resort and his cave at the resort. We also booked a trip over to Murray's Island late in the stream and found the Fountain of Rejuvenation and managed to lower the ages of our characters. The clerics particularly have been gaining in age for the last few streams, since we are using spells such as Raise the Dead and Divine Intervention, which age the caster considerably. Then we solved the Riddle of the Gourmet. I also found an old note that I had written down in the wrong sector. It was marked in the Druid's Cave, but it was actually in D1, where a Druid was asking for a meal, and when I was reading it over after finishing the gourmet puzzle, I remembered seeing the meal in a bar in one of the places, so it turns out that we needed to eat some of the chips in one of the bars, and then visit the Druid, and he gave us the Nature's Gate spell. So there are only 3 spells now in the game that we don't currently have access to, and there are only 2 squares on the outside that we haven't successfully mapped. And tonight's project is to finish those 2 squares and then therefore finish mapping all of the outside areas, and then turn our attention to the castle dungeons. We've done 1 level of 1 castle. There are a total of 4 castles, including the Luxus Palace, and there is also potentially the 5th castle where the ruins are in C1. It's likely that we can go back in time using the time machine and visit that particular castle. So there might also be a 5th castle that we need to explore. So that leaves, if there are 2 additional dungeons as well in that castle, then currently we have 7 dungeon levels to complete. We've completed all the ground floors of all the castles, but there are 7 dungeon floors to complete still. We've finished 1 and 7 remain. And if there is an additional castle as well, then that's the ground floor as well as 2 dungeon levels potentially. So that's 3 more, so a total of 10 and the 2 outside areas. And then of course we have the cave in the lake outside of Middlegate, which we found out yesterday can be opened by the element orb, and we perished there in a fight with one of the ancient dragons, but I assume we're at some point going to be able to beat these dragons. We still have a fight with 2 of them in the dragon's cave in D1, which we still need to finish, and we also need to solve the riddle of the circus. The circus is only there for a limited amount of days in the year, and we need to go check on a fairly regular basis to see if the circus is there. But enough talking, let's do something. I apologize for my voice, I still have this cold, so I'll try not to cough into the mic, as I've tried not to on the previous streams. It's been going on for now more than a week, and I'm getting better, but I'm still not good. So I think the best way to handle this is to simply walk directly here into the E2 square, and last time we tried this, we met up with some pretty tough enemies, so I will cast the protection spells and we will start tracking here up and down the squares. Now, potentially there are some additional caverns in these areas that we would then need to explore as well, and that's certainly an option. Now, this is a tough little battle here, but at this point we sort of need the experience. We have certainly gotten to the point where fighting the easier level monsters has is not giving us enough experience to level up, and if we are going to be able to beat some of the top level monsters in the game, we are certainly going to need to improve that. Now, the stone golem we know well. He's a particularly annoying monster. He has a very high armor class and is very difficult to hit, and it's basically only a disintegration spell that works on him. We got lucky this time around, and we won this fight. We gained 80,000 experience, and the question is really just how often is it that we turn back and save the game. Yeah, I might do 3 squares at a time, and or 4, and then go back. Not much more than that, because these are difficult encounters, and it's easy to get lost and perish here. Now we have someone here called the Kansai, which I don't think we've actually seen before. I'm going to when we get to William Tell, I'm going to cast an identify monster here on this Kansai and see exactly what it is that he's capable of. He appears to be very difficult. 417 hit points, armor class of 40. He's not undead and he has no resistance to magic. Okay, he's at least very difficult. Now, the Dino Spider is also very difficult, and I'm going to attempt to do now is raise Fry attack from the dead. See if I can use him to cast a divine intervention spell and restore some of our condition here, and then move on with finishing off these spiders if we can. Try to cast the spells to make sure that no one in the party dies. Hello there, Gleezer. Yes, I know this is a short day for you. I was wondering, do you want to start with this mapping, or do you want to go directly to the castles? It's sort of up to you which order we do this in. Right now we're in a very, very difficult fight here, which I really don't think we're going to get a way out of it. I have not fought these before, but they are very difficult. So I'm going to start again. If you want to start with the castles and leave the mapping until you're gone, that's also fine. I don't care. Then sort of up to you in which order we do this. Now, I'm not gonna forget to cast the protection spells here. These are difficult battles, and I think I will two squares and then return. I think that's the wise thing to do. These are difficult enough that I think it's wise that we not try our luck with finishing more than 2 at a time. Now I ran into an encounter here with 10 or so fire dragons. So okay, I might start with a castle dungeon, then I'm going to cast a divine intervention spell here and see if we can get somewhere with killing these. But seriously, I doubt it. We are not going to be able to withstand these attacks so many times. There are so many of them here. There are still some 7 or 8 of them dead, still alive. Now we can't cast the Divine Intervention spell more than once every battle, so essentially we are pretty much dead here. I seriously doubt we will recover from this. Nope, we will not. So start with the dungeons, he said. Let's do that then. We still have not finished. I think it's Woodhaven Level 2 that we have not finished. I think we finished Level 1. The joke of the day, why can't orcs boil water? They forgot the recipe. Let's have a light. And it's on the other side here. Now, we've done only a portion of this so far. But it's been a good while since we were here last. So we should be better off now. Yeah, the jokes get a little bit old. We've seen most of them many times now. But it is definitely tied to the day in some way. There aren't really that many, but some jokes they get really old because you seem to very often go on the same days, and you of course when you constantly die in the castles, like has been fairly common, then of course when you restore, you are always on the restore is always on the same day, so you see the same joke again and again and again. And they do get less funny, I'll readily admit that. These are just crazy difficult battles here. But we've leveled up considerably since we tried this last time. I find it absolutely amazing that we are still having tough enough battles in the outside areas of E2 and E3 that we are not able to recover. Yeah, it's hard, and above him were also some pretty nasty little critters. So it's not just the earthworm; it's all the other guys that were with him. It's crazy difficult. But we are gaining quite a few experience points and a decent amount of gold, so it's all good. Yeah, at this point we basically need like a million experience points to level up. So we're gonna have to fight quite a few of these battles. Now, Death's Agent is a real pain in the ass. And I want to get rid of him as soon as possible. He causes aging. Hello there, Mr. Cola. Thanks for the raid, dude. Now, this is a combination of many raids. This is Hitch rating Mr. Cola. This is Richmond Mike rating Hitch, and Amiga Bill rating Mr. Cola. And then Mr. Cola rating me. Welcome over, guys. We are playing a game called Might and Magic 2 on the Mac. And I played this game as a kid. And when I was 11 years old, I convinced my dad that he had to let me have this game. And I still have the original box here. And I spent an enormous amount of time playing it, and I never got around to finishing it. So here we are again, and this time around I'm going to finish it. The day has been pretty good. I spent most of the evening watching different streams, including most of the ones that eventually formed the raid that raided Mr. Cola. So it's been rather good. I must apologize for my voice. I have a bit of a cold, so it's not perfect. Now we are in the fairly late stages of the game, but this game is tough as nails, so we tend to die quite a bit. Now, thanks for the follow, guys. Rule of Thirds, Bean Delafia, DJ Psycho, Amiga Kami, Retro Gaming Denmark, and welcome everyone. So good to see all of you guys here. And we are now in the we are trying to finish the second level of this dungeon here, and the going is still tough. Now my rule in this game has been to try to finish at least every battle once, so we are currently level to a stage where we can do some pretty nasty magic, so we tend to do pretty well for the most part, but there are still battles that end with us very much dead, like we just had earlier. Yeah, this game is tough, and when I played it as a kid, I spent a lot of time getting not very far, and it requires quite a bit of strategy as well, and there are things that you need to take into consideration. There are at least 2 points in the game where you have to figure out some interesting solutions to different puzzles, and it doesn't really help you that the game doesn't much tell you what it is that you need to do or in which order to do it, so you can explore all of these outside areas, and you sort of have to figure out for yourself in which order to attack them. Of course, the most difficult battles you end up dying anyway, so you sort of just have to figure out that since you're dying all the time, that you're not ready for that particular fight, and you have to return to it at some later point. I make a habit now out of casting all the protection spells I can before I go into battle. Now, where did Big Booty go? Now, Big Booty, he was getting quite greedy with the hireling charges. In the game, you have 6 player characters that you can name, and they are, in this case, Sir Lancelot, which is the knight, and Sir Roland, the paladin. Sir Hiron is a hired character, so he's not part of the group. And William Tell is an archer, Friar Tuck is the cleric, Pink Panther is the robber, and Magic the Spell is the sorcerer. So in addition to the 6 player characters, we have 1 hireling now, which is 27,540 gold a day. The problem with the hirelings is that every time they level up, the price that you have to pay per day increases. So Big Booty was at a point when he was costing us some 40,000-50,000 a day, and he was slowly draining all the gold from the crew, so I had to disband him and let him go. Sadly enough, me and Mr. Cola had a good laugh that the game actually named him Mr. Boutte. It was obviously a joke by the author of the game, John Van Caravan, and in addition to that, he also at one point had exactly 69 hit points, so making it even funnier. Yeah, the problem is that I'm assuming that the price for the hirelings is set at the game sets them at when you find them, and they're mostly for the first levels. They are cheap and cheerful, but after you reach a certain point, it becomes very expensive. Now this is a pool here, and we know what it does already. I already mapped this square. It changes the alignment of every character that steps in the pool into neutral, which is not what we want. Yeah, I know you were already kept pretty late there, Mr. Cola. Go and feed the dogs and head to the park. Thanks for the raid, dude, and enjoy the rest of your night. The square directly in front of us is a teleport square, and if we step into it, we will be teleported to some random location in the castle, so we're not going to do that. We're going to continue here and cast our protection spells. There's always a fight, and the fights are partially random and partially tied to the level of our characters, so they do get, as you level up, they do get more difficult. So even if we are at a fairly high level at this point, the battles still get difficult enough that we have major problems finishing them off. There are some interesting beasts here. Now, one of the problems in the long battles such as this one is that we eventually run out of spell points. So we have to start using alternate spells. But we also are pretty powerful in the cleric department, so we can heal the characters during battle and restore some of our hit points. These alien probes are a real piece of work here. They're doing a lot of damage. Thanks, Dilafir. Yeah, basically, Gleeser is right in that the difficulty of the battle is a huge random value, so you can either be, it goes anywhere from being extremely lucky and you get in a fairly easy fight, or it can be extremely difficult as well. Gonna see what they're like here. They have 455 hit points. So that's including the hit points that I've already removed from them, so that's quite something. So we'll have to be very careful here. We have some further tricks up our sleeve if it turns even more difficult. But for now, we will use the cleric and the paladin to heal the party and use the rest of the characters to beat them down. We are pretty much out of spell points, so our options are basically some sort of melee weapon. Now the characters in the front are actually pretty well armored at this point, and characters in the back, however, are not, so it's fairly important to keep the characters that are in front cured up so that the monsters don't start focusing on the weaker members of the party. And we are getting there with these alien probes. They are slowly dying here. And the final one finally goes down. That leaves us with these gargoyles, which are not nearly as difficult. And we win. This is the game gives you this status. This is our battle number 1491, and we receive some 160,000 experience points, which is quite a bit. Pretty good win. Now I check every wall here for a hint or a tip, and we find a wizard here. For a magical time and bargains galore, take this portal to Pinehouse Dungeon level 2. Remember to bring plenty of gold and tell them Marco sent you. Okay, we will not take that portal right now. But, I have a feeling I know what this what the gold hint is about, because in the previous game in the series, which I actually completed on the PC, you were able to step on a scale and trade your gold for experience points. So basically, if you had 1.5 million gold, you were able to get 1.5 million experience points instead. Now the game, there are places in the game, for example, the Dragon's Cave, which make it fairly easy for you to mine gold, so you could potentially go back and forth, mine gold and turn it into experience. So that would be a way to level up late in the game. And we are going to use the one of the most useful spells in the game, which is Lloyd's Beacon, and it allows you to set a beacon to which you can return at any point by casting the spell again and using teleport to last. And we will set the beacon here right in front of this door, which is about here in the map. And we will then use the town portal spell to bring us back to town, because the only way to save the game is to enter into the inn. So if we don't want to lose all the progress that we made, we have to go back to the inn and save. Going to use the opportunity here to go to the blacksmith and sell some of the items that we found, and then I'm going to probably save after doing that as well, and then I'm going to recast the Lloyd's Beacon spell and return us to where we were. So now we've saved and returned. Now this door says no clerics, which is a problem because we have a cleric, and this door says no robbers, which is also a problem because we have a robber on staff. So perhaps it's just better to get rid of one of them now. We can easily do that. We can go here. We can remove the cleric, leave him basically at the inn, and we can cast the beacon spell. Go through the door again and have this fight here. There are some difficult beasts here. There is a Mistreader, there are some priests. So let's see what we can do. I have an idea. We'll restore this save and cheat a little bit here. Not much, but we'll cheat a little bit. We'll leave the inn with all the characters. I will have the cleric cast a protection spell. Then I will leave him here. That way we have the protection. Then I will cast the protection from magic spell. And then we will use the beacon to return. That will at least give us a little bit of protection from both the elements and magic. And then we will attack here. Now, these are some nasty critters here, including Death's Agent, which has the ability to age the characters in the group. So basically each time he attacks us, he will make us older and eventually old enough that we aren't capable of doing anything. So we have to take care of that. Now, they are quite tough, so I'm wondering if we are actually able to beat them. Let's try again. Use the same method. We'll cast the protection spell and then leave the cleric. And then cast the protection from magic spell. There are some additional things we can try here. We'll share the gems here, so the sorcerer has plenty of gems. And you can see that each time we enter into the battle we get different monsters, and that's the randomness. And this one is actually the easiest we've seen so far, by far. And this isn't really all that difficult. We easily survive this time around. And cast a light here. Yeah, there's so much randomness, and now we accidentally stepped into one of these random teleport things, and luckily we have Loach beacon, because so we can basically return to the same spot, because the game does not allow you to use the teleport spell in here, which would otherwise be actually very useful. Now there is no sign as to where to go next, and this is a hidden wall here, so we were able to get over here. This entire dungeon is filled with endless amount of these random teleport locations. We again got teleported from here and all the way, luckily, only to here. So you have to thread very carefully here and keep a mind on where it is exactly that you are on the map. And the square, which is the random one, it changes from time to time. Now we're here in the middle of the map. This is more of an annoyance than it actually is a problem, but it is still a way to make it more difficult, because now I have to remember which one of these was the one that sent me all the way back. And we also have to find the one that leads us to the next room. This is the random teleport one. So this could go on. Now it was here and down here and here and down here. And here and here, and not there, and potentially here. Yeah, this is not a 40-hour game. I was calculating. Mr. Cola was discussing this on his stream earlier, and we've spent now 72 hours playing this game on 21 streams, and we are still not done. And there is quite a bit left. So it is difficult. I won't deny that. And what the game is doing now is the game is throwing at you enemies which are easy to fight if you have a cleric, but are very difficult to fight if you don't, because at some point during this search here we will run into something that is not possible to complete with a cleric in the group. The game will not allow you to proceed unless you have a cleric, so it's using this opportunity to make things more difficult for you, but at least we gained a very high number of experience points. Now, I must say it's very likely that one of these squares is a teleport, but we'll see. Yes, it is, and actually now we got hit twice. We got teleported twice. Oh, we'll have to back there again. Now to remember the order where we can step and where we cannot. It was not there, so that was not good. You're bound to get confused here, and I think that's sort of the point. And again, in the same spot. We should probably start writing this down, because it all looks the same. All the rooms are 2 by 2, and they all have similar quirks. But luckily, at least, there aren't all that many encounters, so we are not in really in any particular danger here. Now, this path is down here, and then it's not straight on. Okay. Well, I might as well finish these rooms here since we're here anyway. We don't have to go there again. They're not all that fun. Yeah, in the box of the game I have quite a few of my original notes. Which certainly do contain quite a few pieces of paper. Now, it's like this, down here, through here, and then it's up here. Just try to remember this. Now the question is, where do we go from here? This is the one with the pink, so it's probably the one directly above it. Let's try that one again in a while. Take care of these here first. Vampire is quite difficult. I'll focus on bringing that down first. Loose warrior isn't much easier. We might all end up dead here. It's not out of the question. These are all fairly difficult. There are 2 remaining members of the party that are not dead. I will make an attempt to run away, which we succeeded in doing. And, we find ourselves where here. We'll head back to town and fix this condition and return. It's better in this case than simply reverting to the save. We had already gone through quite a few of these. And it's gonna cost us because we have to go to the temple and fix up these characters. Start by resting and then we'll fix all of them up. And then we'll save and head straight back out. Yeah, it's possible that the game was sponsored by the paper industry, and it's not out of the question. Now, we have to have this fight here again, since we basically reset the without spell points. Interesting. This is gonna take forever because he's mostly immune to magic or normal attacks, so we have to take him down by using magic. We managed to land one blow on him now, so it will take at least 2 or 3 to take down. Let's see how many he has left. He has 154 hit points left. Oh, that's gonna take a while. Let's hope we don't run out of spell points before we are able to take him down, because that would be rather annoying. Which actually might happen. We only have 93 here with Sir Roland, and he doesn't really have a lot of spells that work on him, and we only have 25 remaining with the sorcerer. So we might well run out of spell points. It's not out of the picture that we might do that. We now have 0 for Magic of the Spell and some 90 for Sir Roland. All we can basically do is it does affect him, but very rarely, so it's this is fairly tedious. Let's try this again. We might eventually manage to bring him down, but it will take forever, since the pain spell takes away like 4 hit points and he had 150 plus left, so that's not a good idea. course have this fight here. This is a much different fight. Of course it is, but still we got sapped a little bit. Want to take care of the sorceress here before she starts attacking us, and the Gorgon as well. Before they turn us all to stone, that would not be great. That just leaves the windmares, they are easy to deal with. What are we doing in terms of gems? We're good. Okay, now for this path, let's try to memorize this path here. Not screw this up. This is straight through. This is up here and around to finish this battle here. Now the choices are quite difficult. I was hoping we would have 2 of them left here so we could do some real damage here. Try to... It's very likely that we simply perish here in this battle. Unlikely that we make it out, yes. Such is often the going in this game. Then you do this again and it's easy. Now we're in deep trouble because one of the monsters that is here is the armored dragon, and he's definitely going to kill all of us before we stand much a chance of even defeating him. He will plow all of us down. So I hope we managed to take him out. We got lucky this time around. Okay, Gleaser, have a nice night, dude. Thanks for coming once again. I'll do another batch of this tomorrow. Know you'll be working, so you can either catch it on YouTube or you can catch the what on Twitch as well. Have a nice night, dude. Now let's see. This one is at least not impossible. Now every time there is something worthwhile in the game, there is a particular item that you can have or progress to be made, the game makes it extremely difficult for you to get it, and that is also the case here. None of these squares go forward. This does, so it's straight up in this case. We at least know that now. I still don't know where it is we're going. It's here, okay. No, we went back, okay. This is, okay. This was the right way to go. We managed to figure that out. Now we have to take care of these here. Let's cast a dancing sword here and I will cast the protection from magic as well. Didn't do that after sleeping, which is a bad idea. Try to take care of these sorcerers here and the guardian hounds, because they are beasts that are able to attack multiple party members in the same turn, which is a problem for us. Now we're just left with these dinosaurs here, and not easy at all. I have a tremendous amount of hit points, and we need to be able to take as many of them down as possible, because they are now at a stage where they can do so much damage per turn that they can basically kill all of us. Now there are 3 of them left, and we are running out of spell points. And that significantly reduces the usefulness of the sorcerer. She's a very weak melee fighter, so even if she's still alive now, we still end up dead. Okay. No one said this was supposed to be easy, and it definitely is not. I will adjust this save a little bit here, cast the protection spells before we leave, so that we're ready when we return from the save. And let's go. We are slowly figuring out the path, although we also have to get lucky with the battles themselves. Now we end up in a fight with these endless knights, and they truly are endless in the sense that they have a lot of hit points. And we are really suffering for not having a cleric here with us. We might... we often use the cleric who's at the back for healing, so it's extremely difficult not to have him with us. We really need to take down more of them, and we fail. Now, there's a reason we've left these dungeons behind. It's simply because they are very difficult. Now 1 done, 2 to go. Here we go. Now, it's here and here through here. And it's up here. We're lucky now. This is a battle with these thug leaders. They have a lot of hit points, but I think we can take them. We don't get extremely unlucky, that is. We also did get extremely lucky because they added a few of their friends, so instead of 2 being left, there are now 9 left. I don't think we'll be able to finish them. We have no spell points left, we're basically dead. Game is certainly not making this easy for us. I'll give it that. I've already killed the knight at the front of the party. And we are nowhere near to killing them here. No. Probably facing the wrong way here. Yeah, we were. This is not an impossible one by any stretch. It's fairly easy, actually. Now let's go have the next one. Now this time around we're lucky. This is an easy one. That leaves the third one. Now, do we have to figure out which way it is that we go here? Not gone further than this. Straight up. And again straight up, and this is the most difficult one yet. We'll think I will make sure that we have the forces in place here. Yes, we do. And what I'm going to do now is go there again and see if we have exactly the same encounter, because I have a funny feeling that we will. I have a feeling that we will have exactly the same encounter. Going to try this out again. No, it's not exactly the same. This one is actually mostly okay. Let's see how we do this. Should be able to take a decent amount away using this. Then perhaps we can take some of these down so they don't kill all of us. Yes, we can. Then we can finish off with this wizard here. How unlucky can you get? We got attacked while resting here by some pretty nasty little critters. Now, do we try to fight or do we run away? I think we run because we have very few spell points. So we're basically dead if we don't run. I'll go restore that and return again. We now know pretty much where it is that we should go. Have some more of the map saved, so that makes it slightly easier. Cast the protection spells here on the outside before going anywhere, as well as the light. Let's save. And then we could basically Floyd's beacon. I gave some thought to resetting it earlier, so we can avoid having all of these fights again, but let's see. We might do that so to advance at least a little bit so we don't have to go through all of them here time and again. These killer cobras are a real pain in the knees. No. We're about ready to have another fight here, and there's going to be one right in front of us here. It could be worse. We win, get attacked again. What are the odds, really? We are all slowly ending up dead here. The living dead are pretty much impossible to kill without the cleric on board. Now, at some point you have to question how many times you try doing the same thing without it being basically insanity, but what I will do now is we'll try to make one change here. We'll back down one square after finishing this fight to rest, see if that helps so we aren't disturbed. We might also cast a shelter spell to make sure that we aren't disturbed while sleeping. It's actually fairly rare in the game that you get disturbed while sleeping, but it's happened twice now in a row, which would suggest that in that particular spot in the game it's more likely than in some other places. Now 2 done. One remains. Now we know for a fact that it's up here and straight up. Lots of coffin creeps. Some killer bees. This is actually a fairly easy fight. And we don't get disturbed, so we seem to have hit the perfect storm for now. Now, we don't know where to go from here. But obviously we are not going to go right, because there is no more right. So probably going to go either here or straight up, and it's here. And we're not going to go straight up. We're not going to go down, so it's likely that we'll go straight up. Now it would have been very good had we been able to skip these fire elementals here, so they are a real pain in the ass. I'll attempt to run here. See if we can run away. We just need a break. No such break. Now, this is an extremely difficult sequence because you have to get through all of these fights and get lucky enough to make it through all of them to get what should eventually be waiting for us at the end there. So, this is another real pain in this fight. These Kenseis here, I fought with them earlier, they are quite difficult. You're not going to survive this. So we try again. Now. What I will do here now is cast a Lloyd's beacon. Set it here. The problem is that since we don't have a cleric with us, we can't use the transporter spell. However, we've at least set the beacon there, so hopefully if we run into a battle which we know we're nowhere near to being able to complete, we can run away and we'll return there instead of having to go through the first fight again. Then I will continue setting the beacons, bringing us a little bit closer. This is too difficult at the moment. Now, again straightforward, and I will cast the beacon spell again here, because we're about to have another encounter, and 10 of them now, including these Kenseis, which are a real piece of work. Not going to make it out of this, and we were unsuccessful in running away, so we won't be able to use the new settings for the beacon. This one isn't difficult, however, this one is easy. Now there are two fire elementals here. They are quite tough. I will try to cast a shield as well here to shield us as much as we can. We really need to take them down as soon as possible. Still alive, though barely so. To make matters somewhat worse, we are also in a situation where we can't really spend all of our effort fighting them, because the rock is in front. And, there. The rock goes down. We need to raise Sir Lancelot from the dead. We'll rest here and search for the treasure. Cast a light, and I will cast the beacon here. Hope we are able to run away if we aren't successful in the next fight, which is to be exact right in front of us now. Now this is difficult, but perhaps not impossible. Really need to take down these ooze warriors before they get a chance to hit us. At least some of them. We are successful in doing so and able to rest. Let's cast a light here again. Protection from magic as well as protection from the elements. Now, how was this again? To the side, then upwards. This is the next fight. Not impossible in any sense, this one. Actually quite easy. We won't count our chickens until they hatch though. This has not been easy at all here. Difficulty level so far in this has been absolutely crazy. Now I'll cast the beacon here. The question is, where do we go next? Is it here? Yes, it is. Quite a few difficult characters here. Let's see how we do. Thug leaders are tough, but luckily for us there aren't that many of them. Seen worse. There are 3 of them left. They go down. Now the chest explodes. This has become rare, but occasionally still happens. The level of our thief is basically such that this has become almost impossible, but still, despite the fact that he is now surpassed 100% in the thievery skills, he has 104% thievery skills. He's still occasionally happens. Now I'm fairly sure this is straight up, and this is now a massive maze here. I'll set the beacon once more in case we end up in a fight we can't win. Unlikely that we go straight up. Unlikely that we go here. More likely that we are going here. Now we have not explored all of the tiles here because some of them are obviously teleports. We might go back and do that later. We are successful in getting out of this. Still remains to be seen. The going has not been easy so far. We survived this one, at least. And we are now pretty close to where we started. None the wiser. We've now gone this entire path here all the way up through this maze, and we are now here again. This is yet another fight here. Quite a few of these lepers. This is not impossible, however. Somewhat makes you question what it is exactly that is the whole point of this exercise here, whether this is just a game playing with us. Can't go here. Can't go here. We can only go back here. This perhaps the end of these corridors here. That seems so at the moment. No. There are still some rooms here to explore. And yet another one. Okay, the door there said no clerics, so we are now finally in a room that has a door. We have found something called a pearl choker. Interesting to find out what that does when we make it back. Now this door says no elves. And we have some elves in the party, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to backtrack through all of this silliness here. First I'm going to set the loudspeaking spell here. So we can potentially return. William Tell is this should be the same, but we'll cast it anyway because we have to leave the sorcerer behind when we come back here because he is an elf. So we go back and we'll try to finish mapping these squares here on the way back, so they're done with. Here's one more encounter. This one is fairly easy, just a bunch of castle guards. We can easily take care of them. Same. There's one square there that we haven't been able to map, which is kind of annoying. It must be accessible from somewhere, so I'm wondering if it's accessible from here. It is not, so that leaves this and this as a potential entry point. We have to at least try the other two. Let's go through here again, go up here. Where was it that we entered here? It's here. Left one square here. We left one square here. This is another fight with gargoyles. I think this is doable. Let's start out with the Vikings, take them down first. Leaves just the gargoyles. They are not that difficult, even if these numbers. Have another round here of the dancing sword and yet another one. Now we can take them down. It really is quite a maze. And okay, we've at least finished mapping all of these little squares here. I think it's likely that we will, to finish off the rest, we will simply have to step into the teleports until we eventually get to all the places. But we've done quite a few. So let's head back here. It's easier said than done. We need to remember how it is that we got here in the first place. Straight. It's like this. This one is like this. Okay. To have this fight here at the door. To get out again. Now the advantage is that we can bring the cleric with us next time. Now the leprechaun stole some of our gold, which is annoying. We find some of it back, we'll just have to leave it. I won't go all the way back here just for the gold. Let's turn on the light again. Now this is the random teleport square, and we'll step into it. Doesn't really matter at this point. I have it mapped. Where are we? Straight. 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 Out, and now we have to pick a way to go through the door. These fights here. Once we pick up the cleric, we gain access to the town portal spell, and then we can basically portal ourselves to town anytime we want, which will be significantly easier than having to rotate and find our way back out of this. And we've also completed like half of this now, so that's progress. It's only taking us an hour and a half to get through half of this level using multiple tries and retries. Let's see. Sell some of this stuff here. found a lot of stuff. We still have to take a look at this pearl choker here that we found. And also the items that are with the hireling, because the hireling can't shop. So the items that are in the hireling's backpack need to go to a character's backpack so we can actually sell them. Now let's identify this item here. Gives you personality plus 15, okay. So it is indeed a wearable item for the cleric, which is why we couldn't bring him. That's interesting. We'll swap places here. He has a hero medal which gives him some 6 additionally, and this is a much better item than that. Give the pearl choker to cleric, and his personality will go from 50 to 65, which is a major hike. So now he has 2 very powerful items which are enhancing his personality, the Onyx effigy and the pearl choker. So effectively he had 275 spell points, and now he has 300, so we gain 25 additional spell points by going through this. Was it worth the bother? That's a better question, but at least we are better served right now. Now we need to find the elves in the party to finish off the last door there. Neutral female human archer, gnome cleric, pink panther. The robber is an elf and so is the sorcerer, so we will remove the 2 of them. And I will cast the protection spells here. And, as well as the light, and save our position like this, since we will probably have to make more than one go at this. And I will have the archer cast the beacon spell. Now, the beacon spell should be the same whether it's the archer casting it or the sorcerer, but we will have to see. Now we have no robber with us, so we will not have any mapping done. A beam of light zaps you, creating a pleasant tingling sensation. Now what just happened? I'll take a look here at the I wasn't expecting this. I'm going to just so we know what happened, I'm going to restore the save, and I'll cast a beacon and go back. And before stepping into this, I will take a snapshot of one of the characters and all of his values. See exactly what it is that changed, so that we know what has changed. Something has changed. We gained hit points. At least the archer gained hit points. None of his values have changed, but he has gained some additional hit points. So basically all the non-elves in the party got a decent hit point boost. So that's good. It certainly does help us. We can go back and map these squares because all we have to do now is return to town and go pick up the rest of the crew, add them back, and move them around a little bit. I'll place the robber here and the sorcerer here. We will rest. Go to buy some additional food here. We're running out of food. I'll cast the protection spells and light elemental protection spell and save the game, and then we'll go back to the castle to the same location. Now we won't be able to step in the pool again because we have the elves with us, but we will be able to map the square as we can see here. So that's done. Now that leaves all the other potential places that we need to map here. This is quite a maze. You will have to do a lot of teleporting here to find all of these different squares and map all of them out. Just here. This looks like a decently difficult battle here. Demon soldiers, we have had 2 rounds of dancing swords, still very much alive. Now had 4 rounds of dancing swords, still very much alive. Okay, there are only 10 of them left now. Six. And we make it out alive. And now we will step into the teleport and see where it takes us. Now we are in a place we haven't been before. Now these encounter locations here are entirely random, so the monsters that we fight in them are also entirely random. These hatchet men are quite difficult to kill. They have a lot of hit points. We have, however, been in worse situations. Down they go. This is another teleport and another one and another one. The warlocks are doing a real number on us here. They are eradicating the party. We now have 3 members of the party that have been eradicated. That's tough going. We'll try the divine intervention spell. It did not help us. We still have 3 members eradicated. We're out of spell points. Still haven't gotten rid of the vampires either. We eventually managed to make it out of this alive. The robber is still alive, so we can open the chest. Cleric is not alive. Question is, how is it that we can make it back from this location? We're not in a good situation right now. Attempt to run here, hoping that we're able to run away. Go back and fix this situation here. No. We will try this again. What I think I will do now is I will finish the fights in here, and we will reset the beacon spell to be in front of the door on the inside there, so we don't have to constantly have all of these fights here again and again and again. It's difficult to endlessly have these fights here. Things aren't going very well in this battle here. So resume this. We can then basically just go back and use the teleports until we are fairly happy with the results. Let's see. We are here again. Might want to check whether we can take a look at some of the other rooms here. We will simply have to fight ourselves out of this here. There is nothing else to do. Make it through. The fact is, these are tough battles, and that also means in many cases that we are gaining a decent amount of experience for completing them. It's at least a positive. If we want to find a positive, I will cast a beacon here, and we'll go on a random ride. And we once again find ourselves somewhere down here. No. We still haven't completed this one here, which said no robbers. We might do so now. Set it here and go back to town and leave them. Some gargoyles here. Now we will have the cleric search for the trap. The trap will explode because the robber is not with us. We will at least find the gold. This is a random teleport. How fun. We find ourselves here in the middle of this mess. Let's cast a beacon again and return. I'm going to assume that this is another one of these mazes here. Where do we go from here? We can't go in this direction, and we can't go here, and this is a random teleport. So how do we... There are no further squares here. I assume that the instructions are apply somewhere else in this dungeon, so all we can really do is keep casting the Lloyd's Beacon spell, bringing us back to the same location again and again until we end up where we want to be, wherever that is. Oh, it is annoying that without the robber with us, we have no mapping. So we have no choice other than to go without the mapping. What we might potentially do is set the beacon spell here and simply go back again and fetch the robber, and then set the beacon just before we go through the door where we can't have a robber, because it's going to be very difficult for us to complete this without having the robber with us in the party. Rest here, recast the protection and the lights. Let's try this one again here. Two last. Get rid of these Night Stalkers here, they are undead, so we can basically take care of all of them using a single spell. It is very nice to have the cleric back in the party. Things are somewhat easier with them in the party than they are without. The fire fairies are so annoying. I steal gems. So I assume that we won't get them back. Yeah, we lost thousands of gems. Let's search, see if we get them back. Doubt it. No, we don't. I'll quit. It's not worth the loss here. We need the gems to be able to cast spells, and they are hard to find in the game. There aren't a great deal of places where you can harvest them either, so it's very bad when you lose this amount. light, protection from the elements, protection from magic. We're probably going to regret not casting the power shield spell here, depending on if we get another chance here. Natives are frenzying and removing our hit points here. There are so many of them that they have a real chance of taking us down here. Somehow miraculously make it through this alive here. I'll try to cast the power cure on the ones that are the worst of the bunch. We have another round of the dancing sword spell left here, which should take care of some of them at least. And now there will be the two of them left here. We make it through alive. I think this is quite beatable. This. It's impossible to tell whether we are going in the right direction or not. But, one would assume that this is fairly similar to the round that we had to do for the cleric. Once we're done, it will basically leave a few of these 1x1 rooms left somewhere in the middle. I will give some consideration into simply skipping them. We don't really need to map them. It's unlikely that we will find anything of value in them. But our problem right now is that we have our good friend, the plant golem there at the top, and we need to be able to use that disintegration spell on him. So I will take care not to waste all of our spell points on the sorcerers. Because the plant golem is largely immune to any sort of melee attack, so we will not be able to bring him down using conventional weapons. He will simply not be taken down that way. So if we run out of spell points before we are able to kill him, he is basically unkillable, and we end up in a situation where we can't take him down. What we do is receive a decent amount of experience for doing so. Now this is the sign. That is very positive for us. And at this point we will cast the beacon spell, set it right here, and use the town portal spell to go back to town. And leave the robber behind. We can't bring him with us. Let's return. You have found an amethyst box. I assume that's an item for the robber. It's very likely that it is. Let's head straight back to town and check into the inn again and add the robber back to the party and put him in the correct place. And we will go here since we are in town anyway, and sell some of this stuff here. I should also have some stuff here. The amethyst box we want to bring to the robber. Now we have quite a few items here that increase various skills. Let's see what this actually does. It's a lock item. It increases lock by 15. Where is the looter's knife? If you want to wear those other things. Now this seems like a decent compromise. However, it means that we bring the luck up to 46, but lower the armor class to 22 because we only have 6 equipment slots for the robber. However, I don't think the robber can wear the chainmail. I think he can only wear the scale mail. Can, bringing us back to 26. Okay, so we have the same armor class, and this is 46 to 31. This is also 46. We have 2 items so far in the game that increase the luck by 15, and these are highly valuable class-specific items. So the problem is right now is that we don't have more space on the character. If we were to find a better shield, for example, for the robber, we could potentially remove one other defense ring and then remove the equip the other one, so we could bring luck up to over 60. That would certainly help us. Hello there, Amiga Live. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for the raid, dude. And hi there, Comotron. Welcome to the stream. Again, we are still battling this game. We are wrestling now level 2 of Castle Woodhaven, which is a very, very difficult dungeon in the game. Probably one of the most difficult, which is why we've left it to basically last. This is we are approaching the last streams. Oh. Let's see here. We have a. Right now, I'm going through some of the items that we've found. We found a ray gun plus 12 here, which is good for the archer. It'd be very good if we could equip it. We can't. Potentially the paladin can use it. Some or many items actually are heavily limited in the alignment of the characters that can actually wear them, so even if you find a highly valuable, powerful item, it's not as certain that you can actually use it. And many of the items are also tied to certain character classes, so for example the gold helm can only be worn by knights, paladins, clerics and barbarians, but the cleric can wear this item, so let's see, 44 to 32 to 43. So essentially a downgrade by 1. The gold helm is highly powerful because it also brings you a level bonus, so it brings you a luck bonus, a considerable luck bonus, in this case 22 additional luck, and also brings you a level bonus, so you get you hit like you have 5 more levels, and it only basically lowers our armor class by 1, which is good. We'll keep the gold helm with the cleric for now. It also brings us a decent shield here. One has to wonder if can do something with that. Potentially we could bring the shield to the robber. He's at 26. No, not the correct alignment for this particular shield, so that won't help us in this case. So worthwhile effort, we tried it at least. Let's see if we can level up. We've done a lot of fighting recently. Getting close here with the robber to leveling to 26, but the rest are about 300,000 away from the next level. We'll continue with the battle here. As I've done now, I will set the protection spells and turn on the light and then save the game, so we're ready to go straight back in. Let's jump to the beacon. Now, this level is a real pain in the ass because a large part of it are only accessible using teleports all over the place, so you have to constantly have these fights again and again. So what we will do now is we will backtrack from the locations we came from, and we will have to have some of these fights here again. And I'm not sure if it's entirely random, but in any case there are multiple battles here in various squares all over the map. So, and they are very random in difficulty as well, so some of them are very difficult while others are fairly tame, and we had to make multiple runs before we were able to get some of the items that we've locked into now later in the game. For the first round of fights, we were without the cleric for large parts because we couldn't bring him along, and that's in many places in the game. There are signs that say no elves or no females or no humans or whatever, and the price in these locations are usually items that are of high value to whichever party member it is that you can't bring along, so they're all worthwhile, just usually take longer and are quite a bit more annoying. This square doesn't seem to be accessible from anywhere, perhaps maybe only a teleport. And in addition to being filled with endless secret levels and not allowing us to use any of the usual methods, including the teleport spell, it also is made doubly difficult by the fact that there are many places where there is a random teleport to some location in the map. So not only is it difficult, but you also face the chance of being teleported to some location at any moment, and it could be directly into battle, so you have to be very prepared at all times. And these alien probes are not nice at all. They have a lot of hit points. Attempted to cast the Divine Intervention spell here, bring us back to take another round at these. We won't get our spell points back, but we will retrieve our hit points back at the expense of aging the cleric quite a bit. But in the last stream we found a fairly simple solution to that, which is a rejuvenation pool on Murray's Resort Island, which we can simply visit anytime we want. And the only cost for doing that is paying the travel agency some 5,000 gold to take us there, which is peanuts. So we have in fact found the Fountain of Youth, which makes using these spells considerably easier. Now there are 5 of these suckers left here, and we are slowly becoming unconscious, although we are using basically everything we can to fight these. In the end, this is probably worth it in terms of experience points if we manage to make it out of here alive. The disintegration spell might actually be the most effective spell in the game in terms of damage per spell point, because it only uses about 10 spell points, but delivers up to 50 damage of up to 3 monsters at a time, so it's actually fairly good. Only one of them remains, and I think we are in a clear here. And he finally goes down, and we win and gain some 266,000 experience points, which is more than decent. Now it's very tempting at this point to simply go back to town and save, even though we have not by any means completed the progress that we need to make here. And we can train some of the characters for level 26. Gain a few hit points by doing so. And then return again to take another shot at this. We're basically at the end there. We couldn't get any further, so the question is, where do we go next? Well, sign said no robbers. Now this might seem very hard, but the Night Stalker is undead, as I remember, so we can use the Holy Word spell on the Night Stalker, which basically leaves the alien probes. Now we can't go back here and can't go so basically this box is oh, we can go here, okay. At least moves us 1 square forward. Now we've already spent 2 hours and 27 minutes on this map alone, and the reason we've spent so long is basically that we endlessly have to figure out ways to get to these locations. And I'm fairly sure that some of them, like for example the tiny 1x1 boxes here, are only really accessible through the teleport, because all of them seem to contain just a teleport back. And if you don't have access to the town portal spell, then you basically have to trace yourself all the way back here, which takes forever. And in many cases we've approached these 1x1 squares to figure out that there is really no way of getting out of them. This is a tough fight, quite a difficult one. The Hiran wound up dead here after a single blow. I the real being. We will raise him from the dead. Not a good idea to leave him dead here. Give him some hit points. Cure the sorcerer, try to bring her back. We are very unlucky now. We're very unlucky now. We're in a very bad situation because both the paladin and the cleric are unconscious at the same time. That leaves the option of trying to run away, which is very tempting right now. Might get lucky and be able to run away. Yes, we were. And that means that we can go back to town and heal. And come back and try this again without losing the mapping that we had made. Very barely, just the robber that survived. He's the only living member of the party right now. We will spend our well-earned cash at the temple, healing the party members. We are back in business. Go back. Each time we go here, we of course map a little bit more, so we get a better idea of where it is that we're trying to go. Problem with most of these fights is that they are random, so you can find yourself in a situation where the battle is very easy, and you can find yourself in a situation where the battle is nearly impossible. So you have a decently high chance of dying at any point in the game. Now, we've dealt with these Kensei before here. They have a lot of hit points, and we want to be very careful here because we still have to take down the plant golem, and he is not easily completed without spell points. We can't really waste all of our spell points on the Kensei. We have to use the disintegration spell on the golem and hope that we can remove him that way. Now, only the plant golem remains, and he's immune to practically any melee weapon and almost any spell. Occasionally the pain spell works on him, and occasionally the disintegration spell works on him, but not every turn. So if we run out of spell points for the sorcerer. This is going to take a while. We will eventually get there, but the problem with the pain spell is that it basically only takes maybe somewhere from 1 to 9 hit points away from him, and he probably has about 50 or 60 left now, so it might take many turns to bring him down. Now he should basically only have a few hit points left at this point. We can check it when we get to William Tell. He still has 2 points left. He has 22 hit points left, so we are also out of spell points. We might be able to cast a flame arrow. He's not affected by it, but we have 4 casts left. Take 2 additional hit points away now. Two more. 15. That's quite a chunk. 1. You can end up in a situation where you are out of spell points, and then he's basically, you can't kill him because you aren't able to land a blow. And what the game sometimes does is that it hides them at the bottom, so you've wasted all your spell points long before seeing that the golem is there, and then you are in a fairly bad situation when you finally manage to start attacking him. Now this is the way here, through here. Now we're basically where we were before. I'm going to cast a beacon here, so we can return here. We have to have this fight here. Get out. Now I want to take the pixie down here because they steal all of our gems, which is highly annoying. Need the gems to cast the spells in the game, and if you get robbed of the gems, then you are in deep trouble. They're not easy to come by at all. What I sometimes do when you have these, you still have multiple enemies here below the fairly difficult probes and that are at the top here. So I tend to cast some of the lower level clerical spells, such as the swarm spell, to take away some of the hit points of the lower level monsters at the bottom. So when we eventually finish the ones at the top, the ones at the bottom are dead anyway. They don't do a lot of damage to the ones at the top, but they get rid of the ones at the bottom. Now there are 2 of these alien probes left here. In decent shape, so we will finish them off fairly easily. Simply need to take care of healing the characters here when we need. There we go. The lower level monsters in the game, they don't attack a character that is unconscious, but the higher level monsters in the game, they don't care and they will attack you anyway. So if you are unconscious for multiple rounds, they will kill you. Now the question is, which way do we go now? This way, apparently. This really is such a maze. And we find ourselves in a battle on not particularly difficult one. The mummies are difficult, but we have the Holy Word spell, which should help us considerably. Use that now. Get rid of all of them. We find the Holy Word spell very late on in the game. It's a higher level clerical spell, but it's basically a single spell that removes every undead monster in the battle. So when we eventually do find it and are able to cast it, then our battles with the undead, they change quite a bit. Now I should remember to cast the beacon spell, set our new beacon regularly, so we don't have to go through all of this again. How is it that we get down there? Potentially we don't. We go down here. This one is difficult. We just got drained of all of our spell points, which in this fight is going to be very costly. Let's see, we're progressing, but I have a feeling that we are going to have a very tough time with these. Question remains, can we do anything with these phase spirits? Any of the characters, can we actually land a single blow on them? I have a feeling that we can't. So it's very tempting to try to run away at this stage, see if one character is able to run away. Doesn't look that way at the moment. Oh. We perish. This is why we save. I was stupid. Evidently set the beacon instead of using it. We'll have to go back. Find our way there again. What was the joke of the day? What do you call an orc with half a brain? Gifted. We've seen these jokes before, or at least some of us have, the ones that have been here. The game has maybe 40 jokes and constantly throws the same orc jokes at you. No. This is not an easy fight at all here. Probably going to die here during this battle. Yes, we will. So beacon will work now again. We'll teleport to last we didn't make it back after saving, so we are in the same position as we were here, having lost some of our progress, but never mind. One of the good things about this is that you do eventually remember which way to use. Now this is a bad save here because we aren't fully at full strength here because we are missing quite a few spell points for the archer, so we really should have saved after resting and recuperating. We did not, so it will come back to hurt us now. Perhaps we can escape anyway. Thug leaders are difficult, but could be worse. Down they go. Let's see. I will also cast a beacon here, set a new beacon. These magic serpents are a real pain in the ass. Let's see what we can actually do about them. Freely admit we are not in a great position right now. See if we can raise a cleric from the dead. We really need another go with a cleric conscious. It's our only way to make it through. So I'm doubtful that we will get that chance, but we will try anyway. Oh, he's still unconscious. He's alive. We can cast Divine Intervention to regain some of our hit points. Got lucky now. It's not highly possible that we will not make it anyway, because these are extremely difficult. I don't think we will make it. No. Let's go back. Now the luck of the draw in this is such that the battles range from being quite difficult to the point where they're near impossible, and you have no way of saving before going into battle, so just have to take whatever it is that comes your way. Now these horned fiends, we know them well. And we have some dinosaurs, they are not that difficult, they will probably run away. Okay. Again, I will cast the beacon spell here, more out of optimism than anything else, in case we manage to make it all the way through here. Now, this is not nearly as difficult a battle. These spiders are admittedly quite difficult, but there are only 4 of them, so I think we can fairly easily finish this one off. Still have a round of the dancing sword to go, and another one here. Down they go. I assume a lot of people that played this game simply gave up because of the sheer difficulty making it through some of these later rounds here in the game. Really is rather frustrating at times. Usually when you reach a point of almost pure frustration, the game gives you bone. Now where is it that we go from here? Here. Now we hit a teleport and multiple ones. So it's a good thing that we cast a beacon, and this is why we do it. Because you can hit one of these random teleport points at any time and be transported straight back. Now this is a difficult battle. Plenty of these crazed natives here, they are cause a lot of damage. I think we've reduced their number to a point where we will survive once they attack, and they will frenzy and explode, and we will all take damage, but we are protected from magic, so the damage is not that great per character. We survive. Here we are again, and where do we go from here? This is basically as far as we've made it so far. I will set a new beacon here. It's not a good idea to do it in exactly the spot where the monsters attack you. Here is another teleport. It's a good thing that we set the beacon. This is not a spot, this is now basically mapped at least 2/3 and even slightly more of this. And into a battle we go, not an impossible one. This bullshit, however, is highly annoying. He has this eradicate spell that he can use, which we can't fix, so even the divine intervention spell does not fix the eradicated condition, so we have no way of dealing with him other than trying to kill him. Now he's eradicated 2 of the party members. And we've removed 1 of him. And we die. Less than great. We will probably do now, instead of just constantly trying to do the same thing and dying, is I will save the game after we finish a few of these battles here and return to town and set teleport so we can simply return to the same location again. This is it's too random and too difficult, and we are dying too often. It's becoming annoyingly so. How the jouster is a pain in the ass. We can damage him at least using the usual methods, but he has a lot of hit points. 5 of them left. I will continue healing the sorcerer here because he still has a few points left, and can cast it a few more times. He does 50 damage to at least 3 of them. That's useful still. 2 of them still remain. We are running out of spell points. Both for healing and for so Roland only has 8 left. He could basically cast a Cure Wounds spell. Which does at least allow us to bring the members back. And we can cast the Power Cure spell here at least once more. We have 36, we can cast it one more time. Yes, this is going to be very close if we make it. We might still. Final time we can cast this spell, I think. I think there is nothing left. And we can't cast the power cure anymore, but we can cast the cure wound spell. No. We win, receive 200,000 experience points by doing so. Probably aged the cleric quite a bit. He's now 52 years old after all of these fairly difficult fights. We'll set the beacon here and we'll scratch on here. There's a fight here as well with the natives. And a fire elemental, which is quite difficult to deal with. Would be good if we could bring that down right now. We made it through, but managed to kill the fire elemental as well. That's good news. The protection spells here once more. Move forward and set the beacon before we end up in a situation where I will set the beacon here, exactly here, and now we will return back to town. Save this position so we don't have to go through these fights again. Also get rid of some of this stuff here. And check whether we can level up. We gain some 100,000 plus points here. Yes, we can. We train at least 3 members of the party. 4. Every member of the party is now level 26. Every little bit helps in this regard. We will we have full protection and all the lights on. Still do this a little bit better. We will cast the protection spell from here. Cast the light spell from here. Cast the protection spell from here. And then we will use the beacon spell. Trying to preserve as many spell points as we can. Now we are back here. This is a teleport. We knew that already. Been through this before here. This is a fight. It's just a question of how many of these we do here. We are not really required to do a lot of them, but they are very randomly difficult. This, for example, was very easy, while the next one could be incredibly difficult. Now let's see. I'll set the beacon again. Here is the pink. It's this square. Set the beacon again. This dungeon would be practically impossible without the beacon spell. It's just the way it is. This is the battle we had earlier. This one is easier. It's not easy by any means, but it's easier. Quite a few of these snapping spores, they will do quite a bit of damage to us, but we think we might make it through alive here. It will all explode and we will take some damage. Our turn again, we can finish off the rest of them here. And they die. And we survive. Let's see. This was the teleport. That was fairly likely. And we hit it again accidentally. I think I went to the wrong square there. Now, can't go down here, but we can go here. So we're back in this location here. Been here before. Once. But this time we will go in the other direction. That was a random teleport. We will back. We will set the teleport here again. Now, one of the advantages of having the mapper with us is we know exactly which square it was. If we haven't been there before, we know exactly which square teleported us. But once we go back, we need to be careful because we don't know which square it is that kills us. These slashers worry me here. They are one of these single hit monsters. We'll have to start healing here to make sure that our characters don't die during this battle. This thing truly is the devil's mouse. It seems to have like 1,000 hit points. Eventually it does go down. Okay. This was all very likely, but we'll go back. At least stepped in the teleport. The teleport is directly in front of us now. It's very unlikely that we go here now. It's far more likely that we actually go here, and here it finally is a door. Let's set the beacon here. Now we know for a fact that the square next to us is a teleport because we've been there before. Of course we have a fight here before we're able to use the door. That was pretty much a given. It could be, certainly could be more difficult. These rats are not all that difficult to handle. Sleep anyway and regain our spell points. There's one square we haven't mapped here. Of course, that's also a teleport. We go through multiple rounds of teleports now. You can see that sometimes when we go on these random teleports, we hit these little squares here They all seem to be one by one. So basically, we don't really need to visit any of them. There might possibly be one of them that has something that isn't a random teleport. But I really can't imagine how many of them we would have to try before getting there. Now we are back here, so okay, this makes sense. Back here, we've been here before. How is it that we... Now we're here again. Sort of wondering if there are multiple ways out of this room as well. There might be. This is not it, at least. This area here is pretty big. We haven't found any way of mapping that yet. But we can't go from there to there. And I don't think we can even use the jump spell. No, we can't. Of course, the game has plenty of spells for avoiding this. It has the teleport spell, for example, and conveniently for the game, that particular spell does not work in this dungeon. So the game practically makes it impossible for us to map this. I will take the opportunity to go back here and save our position. We can just as well return using the beacon spell. I think we've done a fair amount of this dungeon now. Not all of it by any means, but we've done a fair amount. Sell some of this stuff off here. Buy some food. Save the game. And make one more run at this. I might just leave some of these squares behind, but I'm somewhat curious as to what to do with this here. And one of the advantages of where we saved is that we are directly next to a teleport, so we can use the teleport. This of course would be made so much easier if we didn't endlessly have to have these encounters with these two various creeps here. I'm hoping that the devil's envoy is undead, so I can simply remove him with the holy word spell. That is not the case. He is not undead and seemingly can take a lot of hits. The Gorgon used to be a big problem. He is one of the creatures in the game that can turn us to stone. However, we are now fairly protected from that. So it's hard for him to really do any lasting damage on us. Gorgons go down, we survive. Where are we? We are here, okay. There's nothing left on this part of the map. Fairly sure all of these here in between are, except for this room which we didn't complete mapping. These are all one by ones. However, this area here potentially is not. Basically the only area I'm curious about. Now we can't go back here no way for us to do so. Should have paid heed to the sign. We can use the beacon to go back. Where are we now? We're here. Okay. Can we go from here to here? No, we cannot. Okay. This is not the way to get there. These are just a bunch of barbarians. They are easy enough to kill. Usually leave a lot of gold, and they do. Spent a lot of time here earlier trying to get through this. We got pinged around here quite a bit. Let's use the beacon again. Don't really need to have this fight. Rather skip it at this point. No idea where we are now. What I know is that we will have to heal Sir Hiron so he doesn't get killed by the crazed natives. Watch it, man. It's nasty. It will make you unconscious with a single blow. Oh, this is an interesting combination of monsters here. Of course, to be able to finish mapping this, we basically need to win every of these fights, because otherwise we will have these random encounters all over the map. If we don't survive, we need to go back and go through all of this again. This of course makes this much harder than it really is. Now, is there anything to be gained by being here? No, not really, so we will use the beacon and use the teleport. There's nothing to be gained by being here either. There's no way to go up here, for example. We already tried all of this earlier. We'll use the beacon again. Where are we now? We are here in front of this door. We'll use the beacon again. Where are we now? We are in this room, which we haven't been able to map so far. That's good. What we'll do now is set the beacon. Now that we're in here. A message is etched on the stone head of a dragon. It could be worth your while to feed me gems, will you? Yes, I will. What is a trade-off here? What happened? I'll trade these items down here so we can try removing everything. Difficult to figure this out. It's somewhat unclear to me as to what exactly changed here. It was what is tempting now is to cast the light here and we will simply have to try this again. We'll have to give up 1,000 gems to try this again. Is it worthwhile? It's a good question. I'll take the sorcerer, the snapshotter, there is a message. Okay, this is not a good trade-off at all. It's, what this does is it gives you a few points of experience for each gem, which is a terrible trade-off. So taking a snapshot, we basically gained about 1,000 experience points for the gems that we spent. So we at least know that this is not something that we want. However, we should probably continue and finish up mapping this place. We at least know now that this is not worth our while, despite all the effort. Simply is not. As before, it will take us a decent amount of time to make it to the right place. See if I can. I'm in the correct place to go down here again now. Oh, I forgot about this damn thing here. Come here. We did never finished mapping this room, and now we did. So I think it's basically only this room that we haven't mapped here, and wonder how often we have to cast this before we are magically in that room again. Might be quite a few times actually. Nice little battles with these demon soldiers, which are apparently not undead. Going is slow but steady. We will take these down here. It is entirely possible that the only way to access this room we were in earlier is by this means, which basically means that you have to try a random amount of times before you eventually make it in there. I believe we basically tried every square there when we were there originally, so I'm fairly sure there is no way in there without going through these loops here. Where are we now? We're there. Just want to be able to map that room again so we can have it mapped here. Of course, I would like to have as many of these small squares mapped as possible, but I really can't be bothered to map all of them. Fairly certain they are all the same. You see, they are randomly starting to appear as we've done the endless circles of teleports here. It does appear that there is a slightly higher chance of ending up on the right side of the map. That might just also be the random generator and the operating system not being completely random. It's not that rare for these old machines that didn't really have access to a great deal of entropy to not really be all that random in the randomness. Now, the plant golem is here and at top. We need to take care of leaving enough spell points to take him down. Otherwise, we will never take him down. There are actually two of them this time around. And, just take a while. It's easier if we can use both of the sorcerer casting to take him down. About one of the good things about the later armor items in the game, including the golden armor, is that it also increases the character's luck, so it's also pretty much very much involved in how likely it is that you're able to strike a blow using a spell. So it does take less time. Now we got disrupted while taking a little nap here. Annoyingly enough, we will awaken the rest of the party and start working on them as well. I have luckily quite a few spell points left still, so we're not as badly off as we could have been, and we still have the Holy Word spell to take down the mummy. There's a cloud dragon here that we should really focus on taking down. We survive this fight as well. I can't say that this dungeon has been easy. We've been at this now for 3 hours. We're still not done. Still want to at least get to the dragon room again. Somewhat surprised at my own carelessness. I should have saved the game, set the beacon before coming back. Coming careless here. We're somewhere in a fairly difficult fight here. Let's assume that these Crypt Fiends are undead. Fairly sure they are. Yes, they are. There's a devil's mouse here. Annoyingly, quite difficult. Will go down eventually, however. We will restore Sir Roland and use him to fix up the knight. Down goes the devil's mouse. Now the Dark Knight is largely immune to magic. He is, however, not at all immune to melee attacks. Try to get some of the party back here. Still 2 of them left. Pain in the ass. Machika is the last one standing. Unbelievably, and we die. It's sort of okay. We hadn't really accomplished very much. We are just I've basically just been going around in circles, trying to get back to this room. Doesn't much matter. Where are we now? We're here. I will eventually give up and stop trying this. Just leave it as is and not complete more of it. Getting fairly annoyed with this, and let's see, get rid of the, I don't know, 60 vampiric rats here left. Let's take them down one by one. There we go. Light protection. And where are we? We are there. This one is unlike the other one, is mostly impossible. We have these magic serpents here. We are never going to win this fight. Best we can run away and hope we succeed in doing so. Doubt that we would. Oh, one NA was able to run away, so technically we could go back, but I think we will just revert to the save. It doesn't really matter that much. Just no progress has been made. Accidentally set the beacon instead of jumping to it. It's never a good idea. Now, this time around we had 4 pings before ending up here in front of these natives. Are we? Okay, we are here. And we got attacked again by sleeping. This time around with some pretty nasty creatures as well. I'll awaken the rest of the crew here. These necromancers are difficult. We want to get rid of them as soon as possible. Going to escape this one as well. Where are we? We are in front of this door. Okay. This was a teleport. Now we're finally back here. It took a while. And here is the dragon. No, we will simply not. It's a bad trade-off. We've already mentioned. There's no way to get here or here. But there is a way to get here. Potentially we could have gone through here. Yes, so there is a way in here. There is a way in there. But the rest is just 1x1 rooms, and we will simply not map them. So we are done here. Finally, I will cast the town portal spell, bring us back to Millgate. We will visit the blacksmith. We will sell the little stuff that we've accumulated now. We will check the training status. We are ways off from leveling anyone as expected. Our food status is pretty good. We will sign into the inn here. And switch to the other view. This has been a night of many raids. I've been part of or been raided at least 4 or 5 times today. So let's now see who's still on and who we should potentially raid next then. Two Donuts is playing G. Yeah, he is. He's playing an RPG. Let's go over to Donald's channel. He's a very fun retro streamer. He streams a variety of different stuff, and has a high degree of knowledge of what he's doing and all of these games on the various systems that he plays. So I'd like to say thank you very much, guys, for coming here. It's greatly appreciated, and thanks for sticking around so long. I know it's late in many places now, and good night, and I hope to see you again here soon. We will continue this journey tomorrow, but until then, goodbye.